All right, I think we're live.
All
Well,
right.
welcome anybody who's joining, and my name is David. I'm part of the C support team, and I develop strategies. So Kairos is a strategy that I developed with Brad, um, my partner in it, and this is. You can introduce yourself, Kevin.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Kevin. I'm Elevated. I have the Market Ninja in Clear Edge. Um, and yeah. Nice to see you guys. Nice to be back for another week. David, how'd your week go?
Yeah, yeah. Let me share my screen really quick. Let's get that all pulled up. All right. Allow. Hmm.
I'll tell you what, my week here in
Yeah.
where
Why
I'm
don't
at
you
was cold.
Oh yeah. Oh, my actual week. My actual week was busy. We were traveling, so we traveled and it was on like the day it snowed a lot over here, so um we were driving in bad road conditions, but at least in the where we live in the center of the country, they tend to be pretty quick at getting the roads plowed.
Okay.
But
Yeah. They did an all right job here. But yeah, the 10-degree mornings were tough.
yeah, yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Is that sharing something? Share
Yeah,
mine.
I can see your screen now.
Get get my VPS pulled up. All right. So this week was a bit light for me because I was going through a process of deleting everything, and then we left town, and I was still remaking stuff, so I didn't get everything hooked up. But I'm running. Let's see. I'm running one eval for Futures Desk. It did. I mean, it's just done terrible the last 2 weeks. This is a little bit embarrassing. I found
Hey,
I was
we
starting.
all have them though. That's like real trading, right? Like
Yeah,
stuff happens like this on accounts. So
yeah. Every day I was like, "Oh, this is gonna turn around." Like this strategy that I'm running on this is almost like identical, like with an old algo that I used to run, in like how it would like buy on the pullback, so it would buy on weakness, and then it would, um, and then the target would be like a scalp target, like either at the high or like a little bit above the high of
hmm
the recent high or recent low. So it works the way I intended. It's not buying. I need to adjust the settings in it. It's one of my Kairos MA settings, which I have. I probably have 5 or 6 at this point that I've made, trying
hmm
to get the thesis that I want to work, and it's having issues taking it where I want it to take. Um, Everything's functioning right on it, but it's just not quite. I need to refine it more, and I need to get it perfected so that way it's doing exactly what I want it to do when I want it to do it. Because it'll actually take more trades in the overnight, which I don't really want it to take more trades in the overnight. And my
hmm
confluences are just. I might need to switch around the confluences. I'm not sure. I'll have to dig into it more this week. But as you can see, the last 2 weeks I've run it on this one setting that I created for MNQ, and it's just been terrible. I have 2 winning days. Both winning days aren't even close to the average losing day. So it's
yeah,
like
you'll get it. That just happens when you're kind of trying to figure this stuff out sometimes.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those things when you're developing stuff and you're like, well, I want other people to have access to it and like tinker with it because like it works. So like it's not repainting, it's not doing all the standard stuff that you would not want to happen when you have users of your strategy.
hmm
Um, but then like finding some stuff that like really works on it and is consistent. That's the extra challenge on top of getting something to just work. Um, so it's like you
Yeah,
spend so much time developing and testing stuff, and it's like you think something's good, and it was good in my beta test. So when I was testing it before we released Kairos MA, it was doing good. And I have a different account that was running some different settings with it that I even passed a Lucid eval using them. So it is what it is. But that's the one static account that I have with Futures Desk. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably just going to let these run until it blows the account. And I'm not sure. This is my first account with Futures Desk, so I think you can just reset. I think it's pretty cheap to reset. It's a 3,000 static drawdown account, which was, I don't know how much I paid for it. I think $300, $300 or $400. So it's an expensive account, but then I think the resets are super cheap. So
yeah, I don't remember offhand, but I think they are. I think they're like $90 or something, if I remember right.
Yeah, I thought it was even cheaper than that. I thought it was
might be
like
even cheaper.
79 or something for this specific account.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll have to look into it because I'm like $250 away from blowing it, and that's not even a full trade. Oh no, it is. It's so a full trade would be roughly $160 loss trading to M and Q. This thing rapid fires trades like it's like trade after trade after trade. It seems like sometimes. So then next is my Top Step stuff. I'm running 2 combines right now on it. One's with MGC. I just started this, I think. Yeah, I just started this today. So last night was the first time this ran. So it had a bit of a up and down today. Looks like the high was 727 and ended up at 603. So not bad. Trading 3 MGC on it. So we'll see how that turns out. That's with Kairos bands.
Okay. And then are you, I saw some people ask about some settings or something. Is that just with the standard settings, or is that like some different ones you've got going on for yourself?
For MA, or are you talking about for bands?
I guess that last one that you were just on.
The one that had $603 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was from the presets that Brad had optimized for bands.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's a scary strategy right now with how fast gold was dropping and what the ATR's at, because it was a bit sketchy to be trading such close targets.
Yeah, the Ninja hit a 28 point last night, and I was like, oh, I was reviewing it this morning. I was like, I actually had to do like a triple take and measure it 3 times because I was like, is it really 28 points? I was like, that's crazy. Like that's a lot on gold, you know?
Yeah. And then let's see. So that's a combine I just started, and then here's another one I just started, and this one's running K bands, M and Q. So that's a preset again. I've had the most success with Kairos bands M and Q. It seems to be the most consistent. Brad's spreadsheet with tracks, I think we've only had one red week, and it was basically a break-even week in the last month. So okay. Every other week has been positive.
And that's the 5 minute.
Yep, the 5 minute. And I passed a Lucid down here. You see my Lucid. I passed that, and then now I'm in a funded account with it, and I'm up $915 in the last 2 days since I started this funded account. So, and that's all with bands. I think I'm trading 3 contracts, 3 M and Q on it, and then I trade 1 M and Q on this Blue Live account with Blue Sky, and so it's just a slow. This one's more just like I don't want to deal with thinking about it, so I just have it set with 1 contract and let it run. One day maybe we'll get to the balance I want it at, but I'll probably, since it's a static drawdown account, once I get to 3,000 of drawdown, I will probably up it to 2 contracts, and then once I get to 4,000 drawdown, I'll probably up it to another contract, and then once it hits $5,000 of drawdown, then you're payout eligible, and they put you in a different account. And I think I explained this a little last last week with how their process goes, because this is basically, they have like a 4-step process to get to live, and this is the second step. So basically I passed their eval. Now I'm in what's called Blue Live, and it's basically like a straight to funded account, because you have a profit target that you have to hit to get to payout, and then anything above that is what you're eligible, and you can take daily payouts after that, and then your cushion is that $3,000, but you can only take payouts over that amount.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into them.
Yeah. Let's see. I took a payout out of my Express funded this week. One of them, my 50K account, took like $500 out. This is kind of standard for me. This 50K I've taken. I actually thought this was my 4th payout or my 5th payout. So I'm waiting to see if Top Step sends me an email, because they supposedly send you to live after 5 payouts on one account. So I've taken way more than 5 out of all my accounts and my history of my XFAs, but specifically with that 50K, I think I'm there. I'm not sure. I'll have to check again and see. But if I get put to live, then they're just going to combine my all my account balances, and I'll have one account. So, yeah. But my kind of standard with this one is I'll typically take a payout when I'm eligible, and I'll leave myself anywhere from like $600 to $1,000 of drawdown left. And I just trade small size with it anyways. So it's like, I haven't blown it. It's just the way I do it with this account. The 150Ks, I'll go a little bit harder in, trading big size, big size to me, I would say a mini, NQ mini is big size for me when my strategy is taking 13 trades today, 7 trades today, 4 trades a couple days ago, 6 trades. Like I calculate, okay, what's the most trades in one day? So 13 right here. Can I survive? Like, how long will I survive? Can I survive a whole day? Actually, I can't with one NQ for 13 trades. If I was trading 1 NQ on my 150K, I couldn't even survive that. So that's kind of out of the question right now. So once I get the account balances up a little bit more, and I look for, when I'm going very aggressive, I'll do it about 4 to 5 trades is a really aggressive approach for me. So 1 NQ, that gives you $5,000 of drawdown, $4,000 to $5,000 of drawdown. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it for me. All these other ones are just blown combines that I put testing stuff on for Top Step. But yeah, how's your week been?
My week's been good. I've got I don't know if I'll be able to share my screen here. Let's see. Oops. Oh, here we go. GC. I think this is the right one. Let's see if it'll work this week. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. And I do see a comment. Somebody asked a question. I don't know if you saw it as well.
Oh no! Is there a chat in this?
Yeah, right on the right-hand side, you should be able to see it. And then.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
From Eric Suss.
Oh yeah.
So maybe as you kind of go over your week, maybe try to answer that.
Several purchase passing evals versus a slow and steady of funded accounts. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I've been consolidating / reviving accounts this week has kind of been my MO. Can you see this?
I have to approve it. Hang on. Let me toggle it. Let's go right there. All right. Now I can see it.
You can see my screen. All right. So here. So this was one of my accounts. Oh, I can't scroll down. Yeah, but this is just kind of how the month ended in this one. So this one was I was talking about that conglomerate approach, or the multi strategy approach for an account that I've been trying. So this is my funded. I think that this is my 150K. So you can kind of see it had
TradingView. I just see TradingView.
Oh, you can't see. we ran into this last week. Maybe it's the hang on one second. Maybe it's the way I'm sharing. Oh, here we go. If I do it like I've got to do this. Okay, I think that was my bad. Can you see that?
Yeah,
all right,
yeah, I see your month.
All right, cool. Yeah, so this was my 150K. This was that conglomerate approach. So this is how it kind of finished out. I had a big day today. I hit a couple nice with my new Ranger strategy today. Had a couple, I think 2 winners. And something else is in here, I forget. But anyway, yeah, I've been trying to, like I said, just kind of trying to figure out what works and what doesn't together combination wise. This is kind of like the test account for that this month. But yeah, it finished out pretty good. So 2,800 there. And then what are my other ones from the week? And then I'll just share this week. I had this combination going on all my lucids. So 3 lucids for this combination. So this, I believe, was how, I think this was a Ninja and GC. Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I should have made notes on these, what they all were, but
no, you're good.
I think this was the Ninja and GC this week.
Yeah.
And like I said, this week I was just kind of like, I took a consolidation approach and just said, all right, well, it's FOMC week. The indices are going to be weird. Gold and silver are normally pretty good during these weeks. Didn't know that for sure, but it's kind of how I was leaning. So I said, all right, well, I've got a bunch of different strategies that aren't out on the marketplace as well. I think I'm up to like 6 of my own at this point. And then a couple of them are doing okay. So I just had all these random things on random accounts. I said, you know what, I'm just going to kind of dial that back this week and just consolidate. And like I said, that's when I kind of took this approach. And then, so that one was the GC. And then this one was a combo between GC and MNQ. So, and these are 2 of my top steps, not the 150. So, but anyway, good, overall good week for me. Ended green, much better than last week. And then, can you discuss so the Ranger strategy is not released. That I'm actually still working on it. I was hoping to have that out actually by this past week, but, I've just been so busy with the Ninja getting all that stuff out, with all those updates. So, yeah, so I'm full steam ahead now on the stuff I got to finish up on the Ranger. I'll kind of highlight it here as we move through this this show here. I'll show you guys a little sneak peek of it. And then as far as Eric, so I don't know, David, if you wanted to just kind of answer Eric's question there, several approaches of passing evals, and then I'll kind of chime in after you.
Yeah, I do everything based on how many trades I can take in the account. So $2,000 drawdown with a 50K. If I'm being aggressive, like I like it to be about 4 trades. So I will, if I'm taking a more aggressive approach towards combines, I do blow a lot of them when I'm taking that approach. So just this last month, I think I guess a lot is subjective. For me, it's a lot. Blowing through, I think 5 this week, so a couple 150Ks, or not this week, this last month, a couple 150Ks, and then like 3, I think 50K combines, and out of that, I passed a lucid. So I passed one account that I'm up about $1,000 in. So to recoup that, and then I kind of look at for when I'm going into a funded account, I ended up this time staying pretty much the same size. I think in the lucid, I was fluctuating between 3 MNQ and 5 MNQ. And when I got to the funded account, now I'm just at 3. So that's still pretty aggressive for a funded account. So basically, and it's partly because I really only care about my top step accounts. I'm just kind of, I guess, weird like that. I have other funded accounts. I did have one with top one, but I blew that one. And then now I have one with Blue Sky still, and then I have one with Lucid now. And I just honestly just don't care that much about them. So it's like if they make me money, great. If they don't, I just don't care. I focus a lot of my attention on my Top Step stuff. So I'll baby those when I'm taking payouts. If I take a payout where it puts my drawdown in an area that I don't want to be in, then I'll baby it for a little bit and then get the ball rolling again once I get my balance up. And then and then I just kind of let the other ones run, not thinking about them very much. But as far as like approaches, I would set up and write down three categories. So I put my conservative approach, which is going to be, and you can have a separate category for evals and a separate category for your funded accounts. So I can easily go in, and I have other guys that we automate together from that I know that are good friends, and I had them each show like what approach do you want to take in your eval? Do you want to have a conservative approach, a balanced approach, or an aggressive approach? And then with each of those, we have it defined on Apple Notes. I just have it written down where it's like each of those for the size combine or size eval, an associated risk or associated amount that you can use with whatever strategy you're running. So I'll pick one of those, and if I'm running aggressive, then I'll pick that, and then I stick with it for at least a week. And I don't like to change stuff intra-week. Just tends to go more emotional to where you'll have the first couple days of the week be really bad, and then the second half of the week is great. And I think we talked about this last time where, oh crap, a couple bad days, let me size down, and then now when you size down, you don't even make up the losses that you had with the good rest of the week. And it doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes the week is just bad all week. You never know what's going to happen per se. So but I do think that sticking with something for at least a week, and then having the categories that you can easily pick from every week. You can just be like, okay, well, this week I got a lot going on. I can't really focus a lot on my automation. So I want to make sure I have these accounts within this week. I'm going to pick a balanced approach or a conservative approach, and I'm going to size my accounts according to that. And then if I'm able to watch stuff more, I'm able to pay attention more, I'm going to choose a more aggressive approach, especially if I have the drawdown available to take a more aggressive approach. I hope that answers some of it. I don't really, so starting like being aggressive in evals and then steady and slow in your funded accounts, I guess I'm not as rigid as that, because I'm going to be playing what I see going on in the market. And the main markets I'm looking at are the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So those are the ones I can read a little bit better. If it was gold or silver, something like that, that's not something I look at on a daily basis. Well, silver lately, I've been looking at it every day.
Yeah, silver is
been going parabolic, and it's just fun to watch. It's like watching when GameStop just went absolutely crazy. It's like it was absolutely nuts to watch. So yeah, I don't really like to box myself in and say, okay, I'm going to go aggressive on all my combines, my evals, and then I'm going to take it slow and steady in my funded accounts. I'm going to really adjust on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis my approach that I'm going to take. So yeah, it's never as simple as pass the evals fast and go steady in my funded. It's going to differ depending on what I'm looking at and my risk appetite, how much time I can pay attention to my accounts. When I have like 20 accounts running, it ends up getting to be a lot to pay attention to. So I want to make sure that in that case, I'm sized correctly, and that would be maybe a reason to be a little more steady with a funded account. But again, I just don't like to be boxed into saying, oh, I'm going to size down to one MNQ just because it's a funded account. Like, I'm going to make a lot more money if I'm able to size up where it's appropriate and where the risk makes sense, to where like I know what's going to happen. If I have backup accounts, then I'm not going to be taken out of the game. So if I'm running one account with like a full NQ, then I have other accounts. So I'm not going to just be out of the game completely. So that's also something to take into account. If you don't have backup accounts, the best approach, or the approach I would take, is to take it slow and steady. So I would size down in a funded account and wait for you to collect other funded accounts. So I wouldn't want to be left out to dry sizing up on my one funded account. Like I would want to have backups if I am going to size up. I don't know if that helps or if Eric's still listening.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good approach too. There's different levels, right? And I think when you're first starting out, it's good to just, I don't know, again, just depending on what your level of comfort or, how much money you have to spend in evals per month. There's a lot of variables, but also, even if you have all the money in the world, just taking it, moderately slow in the beginning. I mentioned this last week. It's okay. Size appropriately, maybe not the most aggressively, and get your feet wet and get that, past that account, and then, get your funded, and again, just learn how it feels to kind of manage all this stuff, because, the automation does take the emotion out of the trading, but looking at green and red boxes, still there's some sort of emotion in there, especially when you're a newer trader, right? So it helps to a point, but there is still a little bit of it. And the worst thing you can do is just size up too quickly. You see a bunch of red in your calendar every single day. You look at, your results in the red, and then you get discouraged, and then, you don't want to do it anymore, because that's a real thing too. And that can come from all different kinds of things, either, just bad luck, bad timing, the market. There's a bunch of different variables there, but yeah. So yeah, that's an approach. But like Dave was saying, then once you kind of get your ball rolling and feet wet, you kind of start maybe having different ways to approach it, a moderate approach, an aggressive approach, and then you kind of can do some different things depending on where you're at in your journey there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the most important thing is like Dave was saying, just kind of pick a plan and stick with it for the week. Even if it's not doing good, if you blow the account, it's okay. Truth be told, everybody blows accounts. I mean, I blew an account this week on silver. I was like, you know what? I want to pass this 50K combine real quick. Let me just, silver's been super hot. Let me size, I was trading just two.
Yeah.
It's way too much for a 50K. Even one, I think, is pushing it. But
Oh yeah.
The unfortunate thing is I was up and almost passed it, and then I caught a couple bad trades, and the rest is history. But it's going to happen. But like I said, as you know what you're getting into with making decisions like that, you can start to make them, right.
Yeah.
I would be weird to tell someone that isn't a little bit more experienced and has some, experience to go and take that approach, right. It probably won't work well.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, but all good stuff. Yeah. So, it was Eric. Yeah. Hopefully we answered that. And then as far as funded goes, yeah, like David was saying, that the funded stuff, all different ways to run it. If you're going to be paying attention, if you're not, like this week, like I said, a couple of my fundeds were drawn down too. So what I did with them is I set it on, actually my MNQ Ninja strategy. And I knew that one was doing really well. It had really low drawdown lately. So I said, okay, well, let me trade, not super big size, even though they're 100K accounts. But let me just kind of revive these, right? By the end of the week, I actually got them back to just above even, right? So I think they were drawn down $2-ish grand or so. And like I said, now they're back in the green. So you kind of take a look at that stuff, what's going on in your accounts, what the week looks like, and then kind of go from there too. It's not the same exact thing every week. It can be a little different. So
yeah, and kind of, I don't know if Eric has a history with manual trading, but one of the things that I learned as a manual trader was you can find somebody else's system that works good and like copy their decisions, but honestly, that's not a setup for long-term success. So if you're going to set yourself up for long-term success, like I had to make stuff my own. So it had to be my own approach. and it had to fit my personality to make it work. Because like, sure, copying somebody and using their approach might work for a little while, but it's not going to work forever. You're going to want to make it your own. Using if you use the thing I mentioned, which is having three categories, a balanced, a conservative, and a aggressive approach, like, make that your own. Make it make sense to you. Whatever you do, it's just, I feel like that's where you're going to see the success really come, is when you test your own, what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, everyone has those different numbers and all three of those categories, what it looks like to them. So,
Yeah. But
yeah.
let's see. Do we, I know we wanted to kind of talk about just some of the market conditions that you've been noticing, and then just kind of going over what's the hot markets that we're looking at. I know everybody's been looking at silver, but for me, I haven't been able to pay attention a whole lot. So you'd probably be able to give a little bit better summary.
You know, the metals were hot this week, because silver especially started off crazy last Sunday night, and then they've cooled off. They had a decent pullback today, but yeah, I mean, they've been doing real well all week. Silver and gold.
It's like parabolic.
Yeah. So it's been fun to trade. Yeah, the whatchamacallit, the Ninja did extremely well on his GC this week. So very happy with that. Silver was pretty good. It was up. I don't have final numbers on what everything was up or anything, but they both did. They both did well. Indices, it's FOMC week, right? So indices always act weird during FOMC. You know, I started beginning of the week. I sized up on my NQ stuff, and then as we got closer to Wednesday, I don't think I had that on Wednesday. I think I just had GC on at that point. But, you know, that's another thing you got to pay attention to too when you're doing this automation stuff, is all those important news events, especially like an FOMC or, you know, your data in the morning. Data in the morning, that's a mix. I don't know your opinion on that stuff. Sometimes it really depends on what the back test shows, from my personal opinion on it. Like, if I don't see correlated negative, outcomes with certain data, I kind of just leave the algos on. FOMC is a whole different story. Or like anytime like there's big talking events from like Trump or, Powell or anything like that. But yeah, so like I said, I took that into account this week. But yeah, as far as hot stuff, I mean, indices just kind of consolidated this week essentially, and then gold and silver were up and down. So
what was your best settings that you had? I know for us, I think I was just on the phone with Brad. I think we were looking at, with one micro contract with MGC bands, Kairos bands. It was up $1,000 just this week with one micro contract.
Nice.
What's been the good performers for your stuff?
So the Ninja, let me pull up this report. So this is how it's done over the 7 days. So it was up, this is one GC, mind you. So, so it was up about $1,300 this week with one MGC.
So if you're sending that to the micros, then you'd be up 1,300.
Yeah. And that's another thing, for anyone listening too. With these strategies that do run on GC, we utilize the MGC contract, generally speaking, with the ClearEdge software. It was like I said, it did well this week. It sounds like Kairos did really well too.
Yeah. MNQ and then MGC. Those were the ones I was relying on Brad to kind of tell me. Most of my stuff is running on just MNQ right now for bands, so I know how that's doing. And that's had a pretty good week. Pretty good week in comparison to what we've seen over the last just month with the price action the way it's been. I'm really happy with how it's performed through it. It's nothing like I have seen to where it's like you're taking 13, 14 wins in a row. Where it's like that's when you know something's hot. You're like, wow, this is, at least for my stuff, for my style, where I like one-to-one scalps. I like to follow the trend. So those are the things I like to automate, is something that's going to follow a trend, an intraday trend, and a one-to-one scalp. So that's kind of where my style that I like with my automating. And for that, that's how I kind of gauge stuff, because your stuff is going to be a little bit different because you have like a 2-to-1 risk reward, I think, quite a bit.
So it'll just depend what what setup the Ninja's got. Well, it's an ATR based. That's just slightly over a 1-to-1 with the current. I think it's like a 1.3 or 1.4 to 1 with the current settings I've got here. But again, that's on ATR, so it'll kind of change every trade. But the M&Q one, that's a 2-to-1, so that's a 33-point stop with a 65-point TP. So that one I like a lot, and hats off to you, because you kind of got the ball rolling on that whole setup too a little bit, at least on the 3-minute chart, right? You're like, oh yeah, I think it's doing well in the 3-minute. So I kind of explored that a little bit, and anyway, came up with these settings that we have here. Initially, the first setup, which is on top here, and then the new one. Gosh, time flies. I think it was this week. Just released this one, but oh no, we lost. I think we might have lost David. Wild Texan, is there a way to improve executions and lag time, VPS enhancements setup in certain brokers? So lag time. So the couple of things that has been recommended for lag time. We've got David back. Dave, I was just reading Wild Texan's question here. He was asking about executions and lag time. So as far as lag time goes, TradingView obviously is the weak link in the equation. Their speeds are all over the place. But the best thing you can do is have a wired connection to your I know that. If you're not running, if you're not utilizing a VPS, having a wired connection to your computer. And honestly, I don't know if you're on a Mac or a Windows computer, but I've heard, on a Windows computer, you want the ClearEdge application to be like up and running, not shrunken down, not minimized to a window. As far as anything else, I don't really know. Those are the only couple little things I think I've picked up along the way. A wired connection and having that application open. Some people will, like TradingView, you can kind of clear your cache. I don't actually really do that all that often, so I don't even know how to do it. If there's a setting within TradingView you can clear right here that'll maybe speed things up. David, do you have any input on that or any insight?
Man, honestly, I've just chalked it up to a cost of doing business.
Yeah.
Kind of like slippage. It's like in manual trading, I mean, we're going to get slippage, kind of like platform issues when using TopStepX and other platforms that might break down, have some weak link in the chain, and then you get stuck in a trade or something like that happens. I chalk it up to, this is just part of doing business and it's going to happen. How can I limit it on my side? I have a good computer, so I have a Studio Mac that tends to run pretty smooth with a good amount of RAM. And then, I don't notice anything because I have a Mac. I don't have to have the screen pulled up, so I can have everything pushed off to the side. That doesn't seem to affect anything. But also, you got to put it into comparison, because, like, if you've used other other like web-based stuff, like the one off the top of my head is like Traders Post. The lag time is ridiculous. I've
heard that.
Yeah, one time I lost 3 times what I should have lost because it didn't trigger the alert. So it was a double whammy, because I had both TradingView alert was lagged, and then on top of that, Traders Post was lagging, and I'm just sitting there like, crap. Actually, I wasn't just sitting there. I woke up to it and found the trade and lost that much. So I was like, crap. So yeah, it's ClearEdge is one of the best as far as lag time and minimizing it, because the bigger issues you're going to have is with TradingView. And I don't know, I seem to have more issues with TradingView than anybody else I know. Recently, my strategies are closing on bar close with the alert, which makes no sense. It's a strategy. You don't click bar close. Nobody else is having the issue.
Yeah.
I'm the only one having this issue with my strategies when I set up alerts, and it's ridiculous. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can keep deleting them and re-adding them, but I'm just like, oh my goodness. So,
yeah, and I'm glad you bring that up, because there is some so some people that'll ask, like, oh, I'm seeing maybe this on the chart, but maybe it's the execution in real life doesn't match 100%, or it's off a little bit. Yeah, I mean, like, I will say this: what I've noticed, because I've measured a lot of trades over the past few months, chart execution to broker execution. In the lower time frames and the more volatile the market is, you'll start to see that that gap will widen between what you're seeing on the chart and the actual execution in person. And it's just something we have to be aware of and know that happens. But unfortunately, I've tried to program around it in so many different ways. I've tried to program volatility into exits. I've tried to program look ahead into exits. I mean, I spent like 4 days, almost a week straight, of nothing but different styles of exit programming within PineScript, trying different calculations, trying different rounding mechanisms. I mean, I went through the gambit, and I just could not program out of it. So it's kind of just, we have retail software, that is kind of a conglomerate of 3 different things, right? So all of them are going to have their inherent things that, could go on. So unfortunately, sometimes when you see that stuff, like, it's hard to pinpoint exactly what it is, but like, it's just kind of, we know it exists, and that's just kind of what it is. It's unfortunate, but it's what we have to work with. So we just got to do our best. Like you said, it's kind of like a cost of doing business almost. And it's not going to be perfect. And we just have to realize that, using stuff like this on the retail side, it's not always going to be perfect, but we try our best to make it as best we can. But, stuff just happens sometimes. And as long as, I think Nara mentioned this too, as long as the strategy, it might not be perfect to the report, but if it's within, 98% or 97% or something, I mean, and you're still going to be profitable, right? So it's like, it still makes sense to run the strategy, but it just might not be perfect. So
it won't look exactly like the PineScript back test, and it might look better sometimes. You don't actually know. But I do want to answer his question. So I have, Wild Texan sent another one. Should the strategies not have improve the signal generation? Does the bar close mean signal occurs at bar close? Are you talking about on an indicator? Because that's where you can select where when the alert triggers for the close and the open. But the TradingView question about having charts and tabs open. So I actually thought, like, I was like, okay, let me upgrade. So I just kept upgrading my subscription on TradingView, because I was like, maybe that's going to make it better. Now I have the highest paid subscription on TradingView, and it's literally no better. I have probably more charts pulled up than most other people on an average basis. I probably have right now, just looking at, I mean, I have 10 up right now, right over here, and I have other pages open, other windows open that have also 10 tabs pulled up, and I have gone and cut out all of those. And I've been like, okay, I'm just going to run one chart to see if it changes anything. And my testing with all that stuff is not affected the alerts themselves. So it seems to be just an issue that pops up whether or not I have a lot of tabs up or no tabs, or just one tab up. Candlestick close. So you might be talking about the indicator. If I gave you the indicator, access to the indicator, that would be, you would need to click for Um,
I David, I think he might be talking about this like on bar close right here.
oh, yes, yes.
That
Yeah, so that's going to be that for mine, I don't know what yours is for. That's going to be for my projection engine. So I have two separate trade engines um, inside of the strategy. So you have the projection engine, which is not taking, it takes close to the same trades, but it doesn't always take the same exact trades. So if you have that selected, then you are going to have a little bit more accurate results in comparison to the actual strategy engine that's running. Because like you'll notice, I know Brad and I noticed a week or two ago that one of the trades for the projections was off. So it was like the entry for the projection was like on bar close, and then the strategy was more realistic with where it actually entered in, and it was off like a little bit. So it looked like it was a winning trade, but realistically, it was actually a losing trade. It just came within like a point of actually hitting the stop the take profit.
Yeah, and so this can go either way. I don't use this feature unless it's specifically like if the strategy is specifically designed to use it, then that's the way you want to go. Or maybe sometimes you'll get a better back test with this. But yeah, basically what that is doing is saying, okay, I'm looking for all my conditions to be met, and then on a normal execution, the strategy will say, okay, all these conditions are met. I'm going to fire the entry on the next bar. As soon as the next bar opens, I'm getting in. If you have this checked, right, it'll just have that same outcome. But when that bar close, like basically during that bar, right, let's just say it's a 5-minute bar. During that 5 minutes, all your conditions are met for the entry. As soon as that closes at the 59-second, that's when it'll fire the entry for the position, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, you can kind of back test around that and see if that makes a difference for the strategy. But I don't really generally have that checked or anything. I've never really forward tested with it either. But yeah, sometimes I guess just depending on which way the trade goes, it can help or it can hurt type thing. Because, maybe you close, let's just say you're taking, you're entering a position and a bar closed, the bar's lower, but then, if the next bar opened higher and that would have benefited you for that specific trade to enter there versus, it could go either way is what I'm saying. So I guess back testing and forward testing is the way to go with that.
Yeah. And I did get it reversed. That's for the strategy on mine, not the projections. The projections already go off of bar close on mine. So then that would make the strategy go on bar close. So I had it turned around.
And generally you're gonna alert on bar close anyway. So like all your entries are gonna alert when that bar closes. It just this takes the entry at that bar close level, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of moving on from there, we went over some sizing just on the different accounts already. I don't know if we should break that down a little bit more.
There's one other thing that comes up every now and again that I actually just remembered that I wanted to go over. So bar magnifier, people are asking about that. Should I use it? Should I not? So I just kind of wanted to take a second just to talk about bar magnifier. So what bar magnifier does is it takes a lower time frame and it'll adjust your exit or entry on that lower time frame data. So if you guys just see this use bar magnifier, if you come over here and click this question mark, it'll bring you here. So this is your chart, your standard chart where you're at, right? So if you're on the 1 minute chart, that intrabar time frame that bar magnifier is going to use is going to use the 10-second chart. So when your 10-second candle closes, it'll use that as what it looks at as the entry or exit for the strategy itself, right? So instead of let's just say, instead of waiting for a full minute to close, and in that minute, that bar data could be a little bit different. It's just going to use that. Like I said, it's going to use whatever time frame that chart references for that time frame that you're on. it'll use that data of that lower time frame to adjust these arrows up and down. And by doing that, it'll adjust the backtest results accordingly. So you're going to get just a more accurate backtest result by using a bar magnifier. Just because, like I said, in this 1 minute, this isn't a really good example, but if you get a candle that actually moves, within that minute of that bar closing, of course, these are all not very good examples, but okay. All right, so let's take this for example. So within that minute, without bar magnifier on, this arrow could be anywhere in here, right? So it just moves it and makes it more accurate is all it does. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so what kind of new stuff do you have coming out with as far as just maybe ideas, or are you working on stuff? I know you said you have that new strategy that you're going to work on this week. Ranger, I think you said it was.
Yeah. So I've got the Ranger. It's an orb strategy. So I've got maybe 2 or 3 more features to develop yet. But yeah, it's been having a pretty good year. It's just consistent, which I like. It'll be one of those, you can kind of just, like an Old Faithful, you can kind of just rely on. It's got a really nice yearly P&L. This isn't 100% optimized or complete yet, so this could change. But this is where it's at now for just, where it's at in development anyway. So I'm pretty happy with it. It just takes kind of low periods of drawdown, and then just kind of stays consistent. So, yeah. So I've got a couple people that have been testing this for a couple months now. Actually, the first version, I think I released it for testing in December. That's been going really well, but I've been working on. So this one will actually have 2 different setups within one algorithm. So this one will have a setup number 1, and then you can go and adjust everything that you want, and then it'll also have a setup number 2 that can occur as well. So, and then that'll have all its own controls and everything. So I'm actually, the thing I'm developing next for it will be an addition, kind of like the setup number 2. I don't think it'll be a 3. There's other stuff that I've been studying that it's doing that I kind of want to explore before releasing it. Because I'm trying to take that approach with this one anyway, of not doing too many updates once it's released. Yeah. So it'd be cool to at least get that, kind of scratch that itch, so to speak, that I have, what I've been seeing. So yeah, that'll be out soon. Hopefully within the next, I don't know, week or 2. These weeks just fly by between trading and developing and working and, life. So I always want to get it out, tomorrow, but it'll be soon.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, no,
so, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, what about you? You guys, how are things coming along for you?
I mean, Brad always has to reel me in because I have like so many ideas, and I'll just, if I'm up with my baby who's 10 months old right now, then I'll just be like tinkering and doing stuff on my computer and while he's awake. So it's a lot of ideas that will pop in my head, and I'll be like, hey, can I make this work? So I have just like, oh my goodness, so many scripts that like I've got to work and I've got to be visually appealing, but I haven't optimized and I haven't made them really ready for other people to use yet. But yeah, it's one of the ideas I was kind of playing around with my head recently was like, so say for Kairos bands, you have like a set risk, and a set risk for both your bullish trades and your bearish trades. So one of the things I was thinking about was separating out the risk. So you can set a risk for, and actually the idea came out of what Nara was saying on one of his streams that he did recently. He was like, well, when I forget what instrument, maybe it was gold, and he was like, well, I take a smaller scalp. I think it was on some sort of opening range. So he says he'll have a closer target for like his shorts than he would for if it was going long. Probably don't quote me because I was only half listening to the stream, but it gave me the idea to be like, well, what if you could customize your risk for your shorts and customize your risk for your longs? So like with Kairos bands, you could have a set risk and set stop loss for all your shorts, and then the same thing for your longs. Way when you're in a bullish market, you're not having the same exact thing. Like you would expect less from, say, if you zoom out and you're on like, I don't know, maybe a 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame, and we're in a bullish structure going up, like, yeah, you still have intraday downtrends to where like it could trend down all day, but maybe doesn't go as far as like your intraday uptrend or something like that. You can get maybe lower your expectations on your risk settings to be able to have closer targets with your shorts than you would on your longs, and see how maybe that would affect the back tests. So these are just ideas, and I have no idea how it would affect the back test, but that was something I was kind of thinking about. Maybe it needs a whole new strategy to just develop from that. And I mean, there's so many ways that you can follow the trend, like bands based off exhaustion filters. So you're basically setting them to a golden pocket to where it's a good spot for continuation. MA is based on touches of the moving averages. So you can do, I mean, we could go down the list of things and make it the primary logic. Like I could go down my list of confluences that when you open up bands and you see the list of confluences, I could basically make each one of those the main logic in the thing that doesn't change. Like we have Bollinger Bands for bands, and we have MAs for MA, moving averages for MA. So we could go down the list and just basically make those just like that and see what the results are and see how it turns out. It's just a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it's that's kind of what I was thinking about, was how that would affect things in general. But Brad's probably gonna be like, man, you just do too many things and we can't update everything this much. Yeah.
No, it's interesting. I have that it's not.
Are you still there?
Oh yeah, are you still?
I think you're muted.
I shouldn't be.
All right. I think Kevin's muted, but Wild Texan, when I run the optimizer, I see on certain strategies it would be advantageous. Advantageous to set different take profits and stop losses for longs versus short trades. Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying. I don't know if the chat maybe is lagged behind what we were talking about, but yeah, that's kind of what my thought was on doing that.
Oh, okay.
I hear Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, David. No, good idea on that stuff. Is what I was saying. It's I separated out a lot of the stuff and all the new development. You'll see like the pullbacks are different for short versus long. Even I got that new smart TP that kind of adjusts based on market conditions to go for, higher targets or lower targets. Yeah, I mean, the more stuff you can kind of think outside the box and kind of, have them mold to the market conditions, or like you said, you kind of don't know until you test, right? So it's, you could find something like, yeah, every time I have shorts the same as longs, my P&L is, like this, and I, change it and it's better, you just don't know. So that's kind of like the cool stuff that keeps all of us up at night, right? Like these questions when you're laying in bed at 12 o'clock and you're like, I wonder if this is a possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
But, hey, David, one thing I did want to go over real quick. I don't have ClearEdge on this computer, but if you can share your screen here. It's been asked a lot, or a couple of times, I should say, about when you set up an alert, right? And you have I don't know if you do it this way, but Brad and I do it the same way, about setting up an alert and trading view with just one contract, right? And then going over to the ClearEdge and being able to control your size on the ClearEdge platform. kind of just wanted to go over that. I don't know if that's how you do it, or you set your size and your strategy and you kind of just leave it. But just kind of wanted to go over and show people, take that approach, because that's always how I've done it too. And like I said, I think I've seen Brad answer that question a couple times recently.
Yeah, sorry, I was pulling up Windows and I missed most of what you were saying. I do have I'm taking my wife out to dinner tonight, so have about maybe 5 minutes cushion here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I was saying is, when you set an alert in TradingView, right, just set one contract for that alert.
Yeah.
And then on the ClearEdge side, once you set your strategy up, let's just say you wanted to increase that to 3 or 4 or 5 contracts, you would control that, setting that size on the ClearEdge platform versus TradingView.
Yeah, that's what I do. You can do micros. If you use the little arrow, it will only go up to 10, but you can manually put in. So if you wanted to use 20, you could manually put that in. Is that what you're talking about, the multiplier?
Yeah, just using that multiplier. Yeah. Like I said, some people didn't take that approach, and they were setting it on the TradingView side. So let's just say you set 10
then contracts. You have to remake your alerts every time.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kind of wanted to throw that tip and trick and
or
make sure we went over that, because it's something pretty simple. But just wanted to, like I said, just let people know that that's a pretty good, easy approach to take when doing that.
Yeah, that's definitely a good approach. I don't think I've ever messed with the settings on my TradingView for this contract size. I've never messed with it. It's always at 1. So
yeah.
The only way I control it is in ClearEdge.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then but yeah, that works great. That's it's definitely helpful to have that multiplier there.
Yeah. Well, all right. I know you got to get going. We're coming up. Yeah, we're just over an hour here. So hopefully we answered a lot of questions and went over a lot of stuff that people find helpful. But if not, guys, just to mention too, we did make the new questions channel for the weekly stream in the ClearEdge Discord. So if you guys have any questions, want us to go over any topics, please just let us know in there. But David, good to talk to you. Looking forward to another good week next week. So
yeah, if you guys haven't liked and subscribed already, if you could like and subscribe the channel, it really helps us. It looks like be awesome just to see how many questions come in and just how we can help other traders. And, I mean, we're not perfect at everything we do, but
no.
We've had some success, and whatever I've learned, I'm happy to share with people. I'm really excited about what ClearEdge is doing. There's some stuff that's just going to be coming out, and just constant improvement, honestly, just really listening to what users are saying, and then not just listening, but actually coming up with stuff themselves and just being able to improve on it and have things for new traders coming up, and hopefully just a great support network that you can reach out to one of us. And I'm sure even Kevin would be willing to jump on a call with a new guy and help him out.
Yeah. My DMs are always open, so feel free to message. I get quite a few a week, and I'll, like I said, happy to help whenever I can. So,
yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll be back here next week. Don't forget to post in the questions channel so then we can get to those on the Discord.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.